Hey, fanatics. It's Planet Mitch. I'm laughing because I just spent time talking to people only to find out that I was doing a green screen. Turns out that the Facebook Live wasn't working properly, and so I had to reboot my machine. And so now what I'm doing is trying to get everything back so that I can make sure that I'm working. Live now. Look, I think I'm there. Look. Yay! And I can't pause. See, I wish I could figure out how to do that. I can turn the volume off. Why don't I do that? So I can see who pops in. Julian and Brian White popped in. Hi. So for those of you who don't know me, I run contests in order to build your email lists. And I teach you how to do that and all kinds of fun stuff. Email list is where the value is. And by the way, I was just reading a post while I was rebooting my machine about a young lady who had a business and she was doing gangbusters, and Google decided to change their algorithm and her website was no longer appearing in any of the results. So what do you do in that case? You got to go with your email list. You got to go back to your email list because that's your number one asset. If somebody shuts you down, you can at least get to the people that you already know and love, or know and love you. So make sure that you are building your email list and serving those people. Also, on my timeline this morning, I posted that HubSpot, who does a lot of marketing research, said that 59% of marketers say that their number one asset in terms of ROI is their email list. 59% say that's their number one asset. So please, please, please be working on your email list, building that up. And a great way to do that is by running viral contests. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this particular episode. So thank you for tuning in. It is time to talk about the topic, which is data. Now, I live my life. I used to be a data analyst. I used to be a programmer back in the old days. And when I was a programmer, and please, by the way, comment and let me know you're here. Would have loved to be able to do shout outs and tell you that I'm happy you're here. Comment also, nudge, 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 help you show up in other people's feeds. So if I look popular, then I'm going to appear in more people's feeds. And I have a message. I really have to get this message out, which is my goal, is to teach people how to do their contests so that they can build their email list, which brings in, what do we call it? Revenue, cash register. All right. I started my life as a data guy, a computer programmer, data guy. And the more I do with contests, the more I realize how important it is to have data in order to help you make decisions about how well your contest is working. Now, one of the things that people do is they look at the number one piece of data in running a contest, and that's how many people they gain from a contest, and it's all about the most numbers, the highest number wins, right? Which we know is not true. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, Kyle, runs a photography gear, video gear business. And I talked to him, it was a year ago now, and they ran a contest on their own. They didn't hire me. Shocking.
Huh?
Yeah, really. Got to get the right keystrokes to make that pop in there. But they ran a contest and they gained what they said was over 100,000 entries. Could have been a lot fewer than that in terms of leads, email addresses. But I asked and they spent $10,000 on influencers and additional people to promote their campaign. And I asked him, I said, well, okay, what did you do? He said, well, we were really happy to have those numbers. We were really excited about the results. I said, what was the contest? He said, well, we gave a week trip to Iceland. I said, okay, great. And then I casually walked away. Every photographer wants the trip to Iceland. Iceland is really picturesque and lovely, and we want to make sure that we see things. We want to photography. We want to photography. We want to photograph things that are really pretty. And so your initial thought is that coming up with a massive number is really great. But at the same time, if you think about that particular offer, that offer does not appeal to only photographers and filmmakers. It appeals to grandma and grandpa who want to have a retirement trip, or young couple that wants a honeymoon, or people that just want a vacation. So what you end up with in this case is a massive list. So that data number feels really good because you got a lot of people. But if they're not targeted for that particular business, then what good does that number do? Okay, we're talking about results. So what I want to do is to get you results that matter to your business, and not just give you some number that makes you feel warm and fuzzy because you got over 100,000 leads. That's not what this is all about. Again, please, if you got a second, pop in and comment. Thanks to Ben Rusk, who told me my last live was green screen and I had to restart. So I use a tool called UpViral to run my campaigns. And if you want to know more information about that, you can go to giveawayrocket.com/getupviral. And that will send you over there. And yes, that's an affiliate link. So if you end up buying it, then I get a little bit of chunk of change. How's the cash register doing? UpViral has recently added some additional data. And I absolutely love this. And it's changing the way I think about some of the contests. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and this may get a little confusing for those of you who are here. If you're not familiar with the contest process, my face itches for some reason. I don't really want to intend to walk you through the whole thing, but it comes down to direct visitors and people that those direct visitors refer to the contest because they want extra chances to win a potential big prize. Those referred people are gold to us. Those are the people that are bringing in leads that we never would have gotten access to before. And so that's what makes it viral, right? That's what makes things feel really good to people. That's what brings in the additional leads that we never would have gotten to before. Yes, you can run Facebook ads. You can do all kinds of stuff to get targeted leads in your campaign. But we want to get the friends of those friends and those friends of those friends. We want to bring all those people into our campaign because our goal is to spread the word about what our business does, what our problem, what we're solving for people. All right, so if I do a screen share here, and let me make sure I'm in the right place before I do that. I am in a campaign that I ran for Fujifilm. And the numbers, the data numbers here aren't important. What we're going to talk about in terms of details is the source of that data. And I'm specifically going to look at referred. Now, in previous versions of UpViral, the only thing we got to see were total referred and direct. And again, so the direct people are the people that come in from sharing that I and other people send in directly. And then the referred people are the ones that we're really kind of after. Those are the ones that came from social sharing and other methods. We obviously want to look at these numbers in terms of conversions, but the new data that we get from UpViral that was not available before was this data. We can now see some details. No tracking ID means that people came to us without a specific reference. I can't talk. I'm having difficulty with my words. If we look, for example, at Facebook, those are the people that came through that social sharing process, the viral process that we're really after. And this data was never available before. So this is getting me all lit up. This is the stuff that really makes me passionate because it gives us information to be able to work on our campaigns better in the future, right? That's the goal. So look at this data. Now, what I have done, and I didn't bring it up ahead of time because I had to reboot my machine, but if I go over to numbers, and I'm using a tool called Alfred on the Mac if you're not sure what that is, to bring that up. But I'm going to open... That's not where I want to go. What is... I apologize. I should have had this brought up. Numbers. Detail results. This one. Now, this is a spreadsheet that is available. If you're interested in it, give me a shout out and I will give it. Okay, I'll sell it to you. I will share it with you. I have shared this in the past with people, and I've added a lot to it since then. But this is the section that I really, really, really wanted to talk about. This is the stuff that is brand new for Up Viral now, and we get to see some really interesting stuff that we didn't get to see before. If you look at this chart down here in the lower right, for example, I think you can see that. Yes, I'm over here on the left. You'll see that the no tracking ID is the vast majority of the data. Now, this chart is this column of visit ratio to total. So what that is looking at is this column of incoming visits. And so for Facebook, people shared it 1,974 times. The incoming visits to the campaign was 2287. The leads that we got from Facebook from those 2287 was 150 leads. And that converted at 6.6%. Now, so getting to this visit total ratio is that this 2287 is 20% of this total number of visits, people that physically came to our campaign, not whether they signed up, that's this column. We're only looking at this column of incoming visits and figuring out what the ratio of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, etc. was. That's what this chart is. So the vast majority of our data did not have any tracking link on it. And we're going to... So the first question in your head is, ding, 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 how come there's no tracking? Because, Mitch, you just told me that Up Viral is now tracking this stuff. In the sharing page, if you understand the sharing process, if you are familiar with Up Viral and the other tools, then you have a button to share on Facebook, a button to share on Twitter, and every one of those has a unique link so that it tracks specifically where you shared it and who came in from that link, right? So if I share something on Facebook, then Up Viral adds this tracking that says this link came from Facebook. Now, the other thing on the sharing page, and it would be helpful if I had it up, but I don't, is a copy button. So the copy button allows the user to grab their unique link when they signed up and to take that unique link and share it somewhere. So they could post it on Reddit, they could post it in Facebook groups, they could post it on their timeline. Obviously, Facebook Up Viral gives them the button to do that, which is this button, the data that comes in up here, but they could share it on their timeline without using the button. Or they could post it on a website, or they could share it via their own email. There's all kinds of places that they could share that data. So what we now know from this one campaign, and this is not all data from everybody everywhere, this is just my one campaign, and your results may vary, right? Your mileage may vary. 74% of all the data came untracked. And that's significant to us. It's very significant. If you've got an idea, any question, stop me anytime, comment, let me know if I'm confusing the conceivers out of you, whether you should care about this. If you don't care, then I understand, that's okay. But in the comments, let me know if you're following where I'm going with this. It's very helpful if I get some feedback, right? If you're totally lost, that's a whole nother story. But if you have any questions, let me know. So, no tracking ID. This blows my mind. My belief before I saw this data was that the vast majority of people would come in through Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Now, we saw, for example, Twitter and Facebook had lots of outgoing shares, right? 2,000 and basically 2,000 apiece. Pinterest had 1,000. LinkedIn was smaller. WhatsApp and Messenger are smaller. We don't get this data down here, by the way. We don't get to see how many people actually shared it somewhere with either email or no tracking ID. But my gut said that the vast majority of data would show that our leads and visits would come from Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Pinterest. That's what my gut said was going to happen. And lo and behold, in this particular campaign, 74%, this big green swath down here, was people who clicked the copy button and shared that link somewhere. Now that's a revelation.
Danger, danger.
That's not the right one.
That was definitely an e-ticket.
That was definitely an e-ticket. Thank you, Miss Shuttle Astronaut. This is a big deal to me. This kind of data is showing me something that I wasn't aware that's going on, and that is people are copying that link and sharing it elsewhere. The vast majority of people that take time to share are doing it in ways other than Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest buttons on the share page. I think that's pretty significant, don't you? Yes? No? Am I crazy? Now, the other thing to note, by the way, was the conversion ratios, right? The conversion rates. The Facebook conversion rate of those people who came in through Facebook sharing buttons was only 6.6%. The people that came from Twitter was only 6.7%. These three things are pretty freaking identical. 6-7%. The no tracking ID conversion was 31%. Massive difference. Massive, massive, massive difference. So this is going to theoretically change the way I look at what we do with our campaigns. But I don't know if this is really sinking into you. Hopefully it is. Give me a thumbs up or a little bit of love. Looking at this data changes the way you can do things. I think it's pretty significant. Don't you? Anybody still there? Have I lost everybody in the translation? Hopefully that raises some light bulbs. If you get some light bulbs, if you're watching on the replay, please hit # replay and give me a thumbs up, or tell me I'm full of it, or tell me this makes a lot of sense. Please let me know what you think. I think this is pretty significant. Of course, this is all good data, right? This is giving us information that we didn't have before, and it's going to help us craft a better campaign going down the road. And of course, it's going to help me teach you how to do that better in the long run. This kind of stuff rocks my socks. Hopefully that serves you. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop in and ask them. Let me know what you think. Always happy to answer questions. Nobody's commenting. I'm giving you a few seconds to comment before I pop out. If not, I will talk to you again tomorrow. But hopefully that serves you. Let me know. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you again soon.